Hi everybody, this is Sam with Python Basics, and we are going to learn and work with a new library. So you guys have done an absolutely awesome job. So we've done some really cool stuff. You've stretched your skills. You've learned a great deal, and you've applied that knowledge with these things that we've done last week with our shopping list. And we're just gonna keep forging forward. So if you're new here, let's make sure we're subscribing and clicking that notification bell, because you may not know, but we have videos coming out every single day, and I don't want you missing one of these or feeling lost or overwhelmed. And what we do here is we break these up into micro videos, and we make it searchable, we make it bite-sized, we make it understandable, because I remember how hard it was to learn at first and stay motivated. So all we do is chop this stuff up, we do it over and over again, and we come back to it. So, and also if these are the type videos you like, please click the like button. Makes me feel good. It's just appreciated because it helps me understand which videos you do like. So alright, CSV, comma separated values. If you've worked with Excel files, you know all about these. If you haven't, don't be overwhelmed. We are going to go through it. So all right, one of the big things, let me make sure I ran this. Okay, so dir, we've done dir, but if you're new here and you don't know dir, guess what? Pause right here, go search dir on my channel, and you're going to see dir and help, and then you come back and pick up where you had left off, and you understand why and what these do. So let's just look at it. CSV, comma separated values, and all that is a fancy way is it has a flat file, has all this information in it, and how you separate it. Delimiter, that's just a fancy way of saying, hey, where do you want this text to break? Because you've already know about the split method on a string, that it automatically separates on white space. And if you don't use anything, and there we go. And Python partners with Excel very, very powerfully. And I've actually read an article that Excel is going to enable or have an option to be able to write Python directly into it, so it will be even faster. But here it is, comma separated value files. And this is another example of why I absolutely love Python. Somebody took the time, wrote this, and here are all the functions and the methods that work inside this library. We're going to continue with our CSV files. So we could sit and create our own, but we're becoming pretty savvy with all the tools that we are learning. So now we need to be able to go out and get a file, right? So let me just show you the one that we're going to be working with. So the file that we're going to pull down is it's going to be a listing of companies and their stock symbol. And this is just a quick little, so even if we click on this and it's going to have the download, there's a way around that. So how you're going to do this is, for any other time, you're just going to right click, copy link address, and then paste wherever you want. And let's just look at this. Copy link address. Then we do URL. Don't forget your string. Alright, but before we can do this, we need to learn how we're going to do this. Now, we've already looked at Urllib, right? And let's look at import URL lib dot requests. So let's run this. So now let's look at this. URL lib dot requests, excuse me. That's another library. So, all right, what we're interested in, yeah, I know that's a little garbled, but this right here. So let's change this up as from import URL retrieve, I before E, I hate all those, as as retrieve. I've never said this was a spelling class. So, alright. So, let's just run that again. Alright, so let's run help on what in the world retrieve does. So, alright, let's spread this out so it's a little bit readable, a little bit more readable. Alright, give it a URL, retrieve a URL into a temporary location on disk. So, alright, the reason why this is so cool is when I do this, or I click here, my Windows is going to say I'm going to throw it into where I think it needs to go, and I'm going to name it whatever file I think I should name it, or what the server was told, or the file of this. Well, in Python, with all these awesome tools that we are acquiring, let's get this back over here so we can see it. So now this is the way that we can do this and put it where we want it, because right now if we don't change, there's one video, one thing that we're going to do about learning about path to change the file. I think we might do this in a couple videos. But if we want to create a file, it's going to save it to the directory where we are running our Python script and where our Python script is saved. So this is the way we use it. Retrieve, give it the URL, and then you just name CSV. Close this out, run this, downloading, saved. Now check this out. Here's our file. Open it up. And here, ooh, let me make sure you guys can see all this. Let me shrink this down. So here is our CSV file. Actually, let me transition this over. There. Now you should be able to see everything. And now we're going to start doing some very cool stuff with this, because there's some information in here that we're not going to want to use. We're going to want to chop this up a little bit, but here is the symbol, here's the company name, and a couple other things. But this is how we get started, because it would be silly for us to go and have to download and put a file into location when we have all these awesome tools. It'd be silly for us to start there, or to have to create our own. So I thought this would be a very cool way to start our CSV work and get started with this. So this is downloading a CSV file with our URL lib library and working with the method of URL retrieve. So all right, guys, we are going to continue with our CSV library, and the module that we're going to look at today is called Reader. But before we get started, if you're new here, I want to make sure that you are subscribing and clicking that notification bell, because what we do here is we do small little videos and break them up, make them searchable, and then put them all together in a longer video. So we don't want you missing anything. We don't want you feeling overwhelmed. We just take it one thing at a time. So all right, last video we learned how to pull down from the internet how a CSV file, and it's just a comma separated value, and that's just a fancy way to say how it the information is broken up. And Microsoft Excel is exceptional at that. Well, Python has a library to help you with that, and the method reader, we're gonna work with that today. So all right, let's just look at, let's just pull up CSV. Let's look at it for a second. So we are going to pull down reader. So all right, let's do help on reader. CSV.reader. So all right, this is the one I just love. It tells you right here how to use it. And let's look right there, and it returns here terms that we are learning about. So if you are new and you do not know what an iterable is or an iterator, stop here, go and check those out and come back. So all right, these are very, very important features. So all right, what we did last time is we saved what we did is we pulled down. Well, also, if you didn't watch last video, go and watch that, come back, and you'll get caught up. It's a real quick video. So all right, and we ran help on this. So all right, and we know how to open up files. We're going to make our content manager, and the name of our file was company.csv, and we're just going to read this because we're going to be working with reader. And we close this out as file, and then let's see where we are, and then reader csv.reader, and then we just feed in the iterable, the file. All right. Excuse me. So all right, let's look at reader. Now, this is important. All right, but this is what I wanted to do. Okay, so I pointed out that it was going to be an iterator, and if you do not know what iterator is, super important, go and look at that. But for those of you who are caught up, next, this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to show you two ways to do this because we know about our next function. Now, this file is very large and it takes a minute to run. So I'm going to run this for I in range 10 just so we can see it. And wow, next print next I. So, all right, let's do this. Oops, hang on. Oh, this needs to be reader. There we go. So all right, this is our file. To remind you what this was, this is how much stuff it was, but to remind you what it was, let's pull it up. Company, it was a list. Let's change this. There we go. So it was a list of all the symbols and the companies on the New York Stock Exchange. So the first column was its symbol, its name, and then last sales, but we don't care about that right now. So let's zoom back in and let's shut that down. So now this is all the same information: symbol, name, last sale, and so on and so forth. So let's bring this back over here. So that was one way to do it. But the other way to get the whole list to come out, and I'm going to shorten this. Just realized I didn't shrink this over here. Okay, so we can do this because like it showed us right here. So we have our reader, our iterable. Then I created this, and this is how I can go through and through. So all right, for row in reader, each row reader, just like that. Print row. So now I'm gonna hit this. It's gonna take a minute. I'm gonna edit this out. So now that is that, and we will shorten you this, but I wanted to show you this. That was a whole lot of stuff. But now let's think about the information that we want to see, and I want to show you this. So again, I'm going to edit this and shorten it, but check this out. So now here's an abridged information pulled down from our Excel spreadsheet, and that is the symbol and that is the company name. And our next video that we're going to do is it's going to be how to write to one. And guess what? It's going to be, we're going to change that to W, and this has a writer method. So all right, let's get rid of this. So all right, we are using all our skills that we've used before. So if there's anything on here that you don't recognize, if you're new here, everything that I'm always working on, I've always done a video before. So stop, back out to my channel, search anything you don't quite get, come back, play catch up, because the whole idea about this is everything's searchable. So all right, thanks for being here. Thanks for clicking subscribe and the notification bell. But all right, what we're going to be doing right now is working on writer. So we need, all right, so we have our context manager here with our with open file, and as we've learned before, we can, because what we're going to do is we're going to pull this down, then we're going to write it to a new file, and we're just going to excuse me, open up another, generate another context manager, and this is completely legal in Python. And what we are wanting to do is, the first go around is we're just going to copy all the information and be able to test that we can write it to a new file. So all right, symbol.csv, then write as file. Oops, what'd I forget? There we go. So all right, now I'm getting ahead of myself. So all right, let's just look and see. So we have our dir on a CSV. So all right, we are looking at writer. So now let's run help on CSV dot writer and see what comes up. So all right, this is pretty cut and dry, just like what we did last time with our reader. So all right, let's see where we are. Let me get my cursor back in the right place. So we're going to create our writer object, CSV writer, with our file right here. Now this is where we put in all our information. So we're going to be looping through our information, and we're pulling it from our reader. So this isn't quite as sophisticated and as complicated as what we did last time or what we're going to do next time, but we want to make sure we understand this. So all this is we're looping. We pulled this down, and this is why we are opening our we have a context manager for reading, because this is where we're going to pull it from, because we want this file, and we're just going to basically copy this file and move it to another one. That's where we're doing it first, because we're gonna next video we're going to do it and chop it up, because right now this is going to write the entire content, and really all we want are the symbols and the company name. So all right, in reader, then writer, and let's look at this. So let's see what all, this is important. Writer, did I spell it right? No, like I said a couple videos ago, this is not a spelling class. Never said it was. So all right, and oh shoot, there we go. It's not going to show, but all right. Writer, then the method that we are interested in. Actually, let's run. Here we go, right there. Writer rows. So this is how we do it. Forgot I already pulled it down. So writer and writer rows. So writer, right row, not writer, rows. Row, and then line, which is our variable. And this file is going to get created. So let's, all my indentations are right. Let's run it and see if I did everything I was supposed to. Now, go to your directory where you have your Python script saved. And mine is right here. And we just save this as symbol. So I scroll down, symbol, and here we go. Ooh, that's not that pretty. Oh, you can't see all that. That's not all that pretty yet. Our other file was nice and neat. So there's one thing that I left out. I like to do it that way so you can see how that one's all nice and pretty? Well, I intentionally left out a very important piece. Automatically, kind of like the print, we have to do something to suppress the new line. If you don't know what I mean about that, I have a thing on print about how to suppress a new line. So all right, and this is absolutely fine. Let's make sure I closed it. Okay, I did. You can just rerun this again, it'll write over it. So let's pull this back up, symbol, and lo and behold, now look how nice and neat this is. So now we know how to pull from a file, write to another file. Let's say you wanted a copy of it. You wanted to make sure that when you were going to mess with it, you knew that you wanted a backup. Well, now you know how to do that. So cool. So last video we learned how to read a CSV. Now we just learned how to write. So what we want to do is, let's think about what the file was. All we really care about, or all that I wanted at the time, was the stock symbols and the name of the company. So all right, what we're going to do is, we have this saved. So we're going to learn about two new methods, dict reader and dict writer. Let me make sure, let's come down a little bit. All right, I think we should be able to see it. So all right, let's just pull these up. So we have help.csv. Oh, and if you also haven't subscribed, make sure that you are subscribing, because we do have videos every single day. So all right, and I don't want you to miss anything. The reason also, we're doing these in micro videos, and then I put them together later. But I I want everything to be searchable. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I want this in bite size. Because I remember when I was learning, I got overwhelmed. I want to have this all in one place. So, all right. Guess what? It, here. It creates a dictionary, an ordered dictionary. And dictionaries are easier to read. They're hashable. We can look into them. So, all right, that was reader, and then help.csv.dict writer. Oops, again, I think that might be my favorite phrase. This isn't. All right, so now, same right row, right rows. So, all right, right now, all we're going to do is change right here. Reader. Make sure I have that right. Okay. And then the next is right here. Dict writer. And then now there is going to be a little bit of an exception, and this is going to be weird right here. It's going to be clunky, but I want you to have this skill that you know how to go and cut out pieces of the columns. So again, it's going to be a little clunky, a little rough looking. There are other techniques, but I want you to know how to do this. I want you to build your experience and build your knowledge, and then in a couple months I'm going to show you some really, really cool stuff that speeds all this up. So, all right, field names. We'll get to that. So, all right, now, what I said before was that we're going to go through and have only the company name, the symbol, and then the company name. So, all right, column, short for column, and then we're going to input this in our field names right here, and we'll go over it. So I want symbols, and this is gonna help us if we screw up something, and I'll show you what we're doing. So all right, then we have our writer. Actually, I think this needs to be in front of it. Yup, my bad. Put that there. So now this is gonna get a little weird. So just like field names, so we have to call our optional argument. And if you don't know optional argument, guess what? I got a video on that too. Names and then column, or COL, short for column. And this is it right here. So now I'm not going to do anything. You're going to see this fail out, and you're going to then know which ones we're going to need to delete. So, all right, let's see. And okay, boom. So now we have to go through and we need to delete all these fields. So that's an empty string. So del, and you know about del. Guess what? If you don't know about del, stop here, go look at that video. So, all right, empty string. Now, since this is a dictionary, we have to enter the key. So these are the keys. That's all this is. So if you don't know about key value pair for dictionaries, guess what? I think I have 4 videos on it. So go and watch that. So, okay, so we're going to del that one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just copy, paste, 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 paste. And I'm not even going to pay too much attention because I'm going to see, we're going to do this incrementally. Did a video on that. This is why I picked the empty string. So last sale, and then market cap, and we want to keep symbol, summary space quote, Let's see how well we did. Let's run this. Okay. I did not spell sector right. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're down to industry and IPO. So let's copy this one more time. Copy. So we need industry and IPO. Okay. Industry, and I guess you could also just copy these. Make sure you type them right. Just like that. Okay. Okay, let's see how we got it. And symbol. Now we know we've grabbed all of them. We have the ones that we want, and we have the ones that we don't want. And it fails every single time until you get it right. Because the one that stumped me when I was first doing this a long time ago was this empty string. I'm getting old, so I couldn't see it, but it was a little empty string, and I finally noticed it. So now, okay, so we took symbol and we wrote it to our drive. So let's check it out. Let's see how well we did. Symbol. Boom. Perfect. So, and let me make sure, let me switch over. Now you can see everything. Perfect. So now we know how to go out to the internet, download a file, chop the file, save it to our hard drive, open it up, read it, chop it up, write it to a new file, and only get the information that we want. So we are acquiring a great deal of skills, and don't get overwhelmed. Don't get overwhelmed. If you forget something, look at this. Just like the incremental development, do a little bit, test it, do a little bit more, test it again, do a little bit more, test it some more until you get it right. And these are here to remind you, but I recommend try these, go along with it. It all makes sense, but then delete it and do it on your own. Do it over and over and over again. Come back, watch these. That's why we're doing it. And that's why I think I'm getting a lot of good feedback that we like the micro videos and then we like them all put back together. So I can't tell you guys thanks enough for watching. It's very humbling. I love making these. I love that people are getting something out of them. It really makes my day. So let's just stay to it. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button, and most important, that notification bell. And please leave any comments, questions, or my absolute all-time favorite, any video requests below, and I'll get right to them. Thanks, guys, and we'll just keep going. Bye.